The sun cast golden rays over the grove of sala trees, where disciples gathered for the Buddha's teachings in silence. Ananda, troubled by his inability to remain consistent in his practice, approached the Buddha with a bowed head. "Master," Ananda said, "my intentions scatter like wind-blown seeds, never taking root. I struggle to keep going consistently." The Buddha regarded Ananda with calm eyes, his voice as soothing as the ripple of a clear mountain stream. "Ananda," he began, "your heart holds the potential to cultivate lasting habits, but it is bound by haste and expectation. Imagine a potter shaping clay," the Buddha continued. "Without steady hands, the pot crumbles, losing its intended form. The clay does not resist the potter's hands. It requires patience and persistence to take its final shape." The Buddha paused, letting his words linger in the air, allowing his disciples to absorb the metaphor deeply. "Begin with one step, Ananda," the Buddha said, "and make it light, a small act of mindfulness every single day, even if it is as simple as breathing deeply once a day. Do it with unwavering attention," he instructed. "Just as a seedling requires water, light, and soil, habits require care, consistency, and gentle nurturing to grow strong. The gardener does not despair if the sapling falters. He returns daily to provide sustenance with loving patience. As a practice, choose an intention. Do not fret over its magnitude, but commit without seeking immediate perfection," he said. Ananda listened intently, imagining a young sapling growing, its roots slowly finding depth and stability beneath the earth. "But Master," Ananda asked, "what if the sapling faces storms? How can it withstand forces beyond its capacity?" The Buddha smiled, acknowledging the concern. "The storm bends the branches but strengthens the roots that cling deeper to the soil." Habits, too, grow resilient when they are nourished through difficulties. They learn to adapt, not break, the Buddha said. The potter may face challenges. The clay may crack under pressure. But this offers wisdom for future shaping, he said. The gardener learns to shield the sapling from excessive sun. Experiences sharpen his care for what must grow, he said. The disciples nodded in agreement, their minds beginning to understand that persistence must accompany habits for them to endure. Ananda resolved to begin his practice with simplicity, choosing the act of mindful breathing every morning before sunrise. The Buddha observed Ananda's determination and saw within him the quiet potential for habits to become seeds of transformation. Weeks passed, and the disciples reconvened in the grove, each carrying stories of their efforts and obstacles in practice. One disciple spoke of how her daily mindfulness had deepened, though her initial practice felt like an insignificant act. Another shared how his habit of journaling had helped calm his restless thoughts, though he doubted its lasting impact initially. The Buddha listened with a serene countenance, affirming their efforts with the wisdom of his gentle words. "Do you now see," the Buddha said, "how the small acts you began with have grown roots in your lives?" The disciples felt a quiet recognition as they reflected on how their simple habits had strengthened their hearts and minds. The greatest enemy of habit is the expectation of immediate perfection, the Buddha said. Addressing their evolving perspectives, do not strive to conquer the mountain in a single step. Climb steadily and trust the path beneath your feet. The seedling grows into a tree not overnight, but through seasons that both challenge and nurture its growth, he added. In your practice lies the lesson of perseverance, the patience to endure, the courage to begin anew each time, he said. Ananda felt the weight of his struggles lift, understanding now that consistent effort outweighed the fleeting pursuit of perfection. The Buddha's voice rang clear as he imparted one final teaching for their hearts to carry forth in their journey. Habits are not shackles of obligation but gifts we grant ourselves to live more fully, mindfully, and with intention, he said. Treat your habits as you would treat a delicate bird. Hold them gently but with purpose, lest they fly away, he said. With a bow of gratitude, Ananda committed to nurturing the single habit of mindful breathing and allowing it to guide his practice. The disciples rose from their seated positions, carrying with them seeds of wisdom that promised growth with steady nurturing. The Sala grove remained still, a witness to the timeless teachings imparted by the Buddha for the cultivation of lasting change. Another day, Sundari approached the grove with heavy steps. Her heart burdened by doubts that threatened to shatter her resolve, she joined the gathering beneath the Sala trees, her eyes meeting the Buddha's serene gaze as she voiced her struggles. Master, Sundari began, though I have started, I falter often. My mind sways like a fragile reed in the wind. The Buddha regarded her with compassion, the stillness of his presence offering comfort amidst the turmoil within her heart. Sundari, he said gently, the path is not free of obstacles, but every step forward strengthens the roots of your being. He paused, his voice steady and calm. Let me tell you a tale to illuminate the perseverance required to walk this path. There was once a deer, wandering through dry lands in search of water, weary and near hopeless. Yet it continued. It climbed hills, crossed valleys, lost its way, and fell countless times, yet remembered the taste of life's spring. The deer pressed forward, not because the path was easy, but because its heart trusted the existence of water nearby. The disciples sat in silence, envisioning the deer's journey, feeling their own struggles mirrored in its determined search. The deer found the spring it sought. In drinking, it restored not only its body but also its weary spirit, he said. Sundari bowed her head, tears falling softly onto her folded hands. Master, I feel the weight of doubt within me, she said. The Buddha met her gaze, his tone kind yet firm. Doubt is natural, Sundari, but remember the taste of your goal. The deer did not abandon its path because of thorny bushes or rocky climbs. Its resolve carried it forward, he said. Sundari listened intently, her heart resonating with the truth in his words, finding within herself a faint glimmer of hope. Your practice may falter, your footsteps may waver, but the essence of habit is in the courage to begin again, he said. The disciples nodded, feeling the wisdom in his teaching as a flame kindling within the chambers of their hearts. The river may dry in the heat of summer, but it will flow again when nourished by the rains, he said. Do not seek perfection in your steps. Seek instead the endurance to move forward regardless of the terrain beneath you, he said. The one who fears falling remains stagnant. The one who accepts the fall learns the strength to rise each time, he said. Sundari wiped her tears, her heart lighter now, her doubts softened by the understanding gifted through the Buddha's gentle words. I will continue, Master, she said quietly. Even if my path is unclear, I will trust in its ultimate destination. The Buddha smiled, seeing her resolve like the faint dawn light emerging from the shadow of the darkest night. Practice each step with humility, Sundari, knowing that the obstacles strengthen your spirit even when your mind feels weak, he said. The disciples, inspired by Sundari's courage, shared their own experiences of faltering steps and the persistence needed to keep moving. One spoke of the weight of exhaustion, another of the chains of self-doubt, each story echoing the struggles they faced. The Buddha listened patiently, his presence a grounding force as he imparted lessons to their hearts in gentle clarity. The ocean is vast and deep. It is not crossed in haste, but through patient navigation and enduring spirit, he said. Habits, too, are like the ocean, rich and transformative, but they require steady sails to weather the turbulent winds, he said. Sundari reflected on his words, visualizing the deer, remembering its perseverance amidst doubt, finding parallels to her own journey. the Sala Grove bore witness to the disciples' shared stories, each thread weaving into the larger tapestry of human struggle. The Buddha spoke once more, his words carrying the wisdom of his years and the compassion for those who listened. Habits that endure are not forged through fleeting intentions but through the fire of persistence and the calm of patience, he said. The disciples bowed in gratitude, their hearts filled with renewed strength, their paths illuminated by the Buddha's teachings. Another day would come. Another obstacle would challenge them, but they carried forward the lessons of walking the path without wavering. Each step, each fall, each rise, they knew the essence of habit was not perfection but the courage to continue. Despite all, another day, Mahakasyapa sat beneath the great Bodhi tree, his brow furrowed with thoughts of preserving what he had cultivated. The disciples assembled around him, sensing his unease, and soon the Buddha joined them, his presence calming the restless air. Master, Mahakasyapa began, his voice carrying the weight of uncertainty. I fear the habits I've built will wither with time. The Buddha looked toward the Bodhi tree, its branches swaying gently, and spoke with a voice imbued with quiet assurance. Mahakasyapa, he said, habits, like this tree, thrive not from neglect but from continuous nourishment and dedicated practice over time. He gestured to the tree's strong roots, visible beneath the earth, and began a tale to illuminate his teaching further. There was once a farmer who planted a tree, tending to it carefully during the first years of its fragile growth. The tree flourished under his care, bearing fruit each season, offering shade and sustenance to the farmer's life. He continued, but one year, the farmer grew complacent, believing the tree could now thrive without his attention or devotion. He said, as the days passed, the tree weakened, its leaves withering, its roots losing the strength they once held firmly. The farmer realized his error too late. Understanding that even the strongest trees need care to continue giving life, he said. The Buddha paused, letting the weight of his words sink into the hearts of those listening under the Bodhi trees. Canopy, Mahakasyapa, he continued, do not let fear of withering bind your heart. Instead, let it guide your actions with wisdom. Habits, when they transform into virtues, no longer require conscious effort, for they become the roots of your being, he said. Mahakasyapa listened intently, his mind turning over the parable and its resonance with his fears of losing what he'd built. But Master, Mahakasyapa asked, how can one nourish habits into virtues that endure even when the seasons of life change? The Buddha smiled, gesturing to the Bodhi tree. This tree draws life not only from soil but from rain and sun. In the same way, Mahakasyapa, nourish your habits by integrating them with the elements of your daily existence, he said. Make your mindfulness extend to your actions, your compassion flow into your relationships, your wisdom guide your every decision, he added. When a habit aligns with the essence of your being, it ceases to be a burden and becomes a natural state, he said. The disciples, hearing these words, felt their understanding deepen, recognizing that habits were not tasks but expressions of their inner growth. Another spoke, his voice trembling with uncertainty. Master, is it possible to lose even virtues that have taken root in the soul? The Buddha turned to him, his gaze steady. Nothing is lost that has truly transformed your nature. It lives within you always, even when a tree sheds its leaves. Its essence remains intact, awaiting the season to flourish anew, he said. Virtues, like roots, sustain you even through the harshest winters. They are not erased but sleep, awaiting reawakening, he said. The disciple bowed his head, his fears easing as he absorbed the truth of the Buddha's words. Letting their wisdom settle, Mahakasyapa, too, felt his heart lighten, seeing his fears as opportunities to deepen his commitment rather than burdens to carry. Master. He said quietly, I will nurture my habits not as transient efforts but as seeds of virtues within my soul. The Buddha nodded, his serene expression reflecting the calm assurance of one who has walked the path and understood its nature. Mahakasyapa, he said, let the virtues you cultivate extend their roots beyond your mind and heart, grounding them into your actions. Habits preserved through practice transform into a strength that no storm can uproot. No drought can weaken, he said. The disciples felt the truth of his words. Their hearts ignited with the resolve to care for their habits like living beings. Each of them envisioned the habits they had begun as seeds growing into trees that offered fruit and shelter to others. The tree that bears fruit shares it freely, expecting nothing in return, yet it thrives through the cycles of giving, he said. When your virtues nourish others, they deepen within you, for the act of sharing strengthens their roots in your being, he said. Mahakasyapa reflected on these teachings, realizing that the habits he feared losing could become virtues through selfless giving and sustained practice. The Buddha concluded with a final teaching, his words flowing like a river carving its path through the hearts of his disciples. Transform your habits into virtues by grounding them in selflessness, strengthening them through perseverance, and integrating them into every aspect of life. Like the Bodhi tree, let your roots draw nourishment from all that surrounds you, becoming unshakable in the face of change. As the disciples bowed in gratitude, they felt the weight of their fears ease, replaced by a quiet confidence in their journey. Another day would come, challenges would arise, but they carried the Buddha's teachings as lanterns to guide them through the dark. Under the Bodhi tree, the seeds of wisdom planted by the Buddha continued to grow, promising a future of enduring transformation. But what if my effort falters, Master? I asked, the weight of my fears pressing down on me. He added more oil to the lamp, the flame growing stronger. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.